Throughout the entire season of the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys, a brewing feud between two Russian women has been escalating, with each episode bringing them closer to a confrontation. In a clip shared exclusively with Collider, it seems like the McBee brothers have finally had enough. Galina Salkowska is a crucial part of McBee Farm and Cattle, but her personal drama is spilling into the business as her feud with ex-friend Masha over Steve McBee Sr. reaches a breaking point. In true Bravo fashion, Season 2 of the McBee Dynasty has been a roller coaster of emotions. Between Steve Sr.'s absence, a baby on the way, and business deals falling through, the team has its hands full. Still, Galina is more than prepared to lead the McBee Dynasty to success, but only if she can get her personal life in order first. Galina and Masha's feud explodes in the McBee Dynasty clip, and it's about more than just Steve Sr. Galina and Masha's tension comes to a head, and there is a cold familiarity between the women seen at the beginning of the exclusive clip. It becomes abundantly clear that, although Galina is angry at Steve Sr., her lasting heartbreak stems from her friend stabbing her in the back. When the brothers bring them together, both women exchange a Russian greeting. Earlier this season, Galina said Masha was a small reminder of home and someone who truly understood how she felt in such a different environment. This special bond made it even worse when Masha betrayed her and slept with Steve Sr. behind Galina's back. In that moment, Galina lost not only Steve Sr., but also the only piece of home she had in misery on the McBee Dynasty. Galina lashes out in anger, a pattern she's shown throughout the season. In the clip, she calls Masha a nobody and tells her to leave. Though this is their first face-to-face confrontation, it's not the first time Galina has acted to hurt Masha. In Episode 3, the McBee Dynasty showed video footage of Galina going into Steve Sr.'s lodge to disrupt and vandalize Masha's clothes. Galina even went so far as to leave the chicken coop open, allowing harm to come to some of Masha's pet chickens. Judging by the previews for the season, Galina will likely continue to lash out, which is proving to be a dangerous pattern. Galina's personal drama isn't just explosive. It's putting McBee Farm and Cattle at risk. The McBee brothers' main concern about Galina's unchecked anger toward Masha and Steve Sr. is its negative impact on the company. Galina's role at McBee Farm and Cattle has become increasingly vital in recent episodes. In Episode 3, Galina's absence causes Stephen McBee Sr. to miss out on a lucrative business opportunity. Christy McBee's wisdom from the second episode of Season 2 remains true for the McBee family. Personal chaos breeds chaos in business. Though originally referring to Stephen's troubled romance, this warning has never been more true than for Galina. Until she moves past Masha's betrayal, these personal conflicts will keep hurting the company. Galina's heartbreak runs deep, but her own past makes the betrayal even more complicated. During their argument, Masha reminds Galina of a crucial fact. While Galina is angry at Masha for being the other woman, Galina herself was once the mistress before Masha. Steve Sr. was still married to Christy, but eventually left her and continued a partnership with Galina. Though Galina's relationship with Steve Sr. began as an affair, she never expected to lose him the same way. Yet, since Steve Sr. remains missing from the show, she had no choice but to take her anger out on Masha. Galina is not going to forgive that easily, that much is clear. Although Steve Sr. broke Galina's heart, it is evident that Masha's betrayal is what really stung. Unfortunately, if Galina cannot keep her personal life intact, it could spell doom for the company she worked to build. The Missouri Sun, usually a benevolent golden eye over McBee Farm and Cattle, felt like a harsh, unforgiving spotlight. Dust devils danced across the vast fields, mirroring the swirling chaos that had taken root within the very heart of the McBee empire. For weeks, a storm had been brewing, not from the skies, but from the fiery clash of two Russian women, Galina, and Masha. Their feud, a toxic blend of betrayal and possessive love, had simmered beneath the surface of every business deal, every family dinner, threatening to scorch the very earth the McBees had painstakingly cultivated. Now it was about to erupt. Steve McBee Sr.'s prolonged absence had left a gaping void, a leadership vacuum that Galina, despite her fierce determination, struggled to fill. She carried the weight of the farm's future on her shoulders, negotiating deals, overseeing operations, her sharp mind constantly calculating. But beneath the veneer of competence, a raw wound festered. Masha. The name was a bitter taste, a constant, gnawing reminder of a friendship shattered and a love stolen. The McBee brothers, their faces etched with worry, watched as Galina's volatile temper, once a manageable quirk, spiraled into a dangerous pattern. Business opportunities, once within their grasp, slipped away like sand through their fingers, casualties of Galina's unchecked fury. Christy McBee's words from earlier in the season echoed with chilling accuracy. Personal chaos breeds chaos in business. The breaking point arrived on a sweltering afternoon, the air thick with unspoken accusations. The brothers, desperate to douse the flames before they consumed everything, had orchestrated a meeting. In the main barn, usually a hub of productive activity, an oppressive silence hung heavy. Galina stood rigid, her eyes, usually warm and expressive, now cold chips of ice. Across from her, Masha, her posture defiant, met Galina's gaze with a chilling familiarity. It was a Russian greeting, a formal nod that belied the inferno raging beneath. For Galina, the sight of Masha was a punch to the gut. Masha had once been her anchor, a small vibrant piece of home in the vast, alien landscape of rural Missouri. They had shared whispered secrets, navigated cultural differences, and found solace in their shared heritage. Masha had understood the ache of being an outsider, the quiet loneliness that even Steve Sr.'s affection couldn't fully erase. That bond, forged in vulnerability, had made the betrayal so much more profound. It wasn't just Steve Sr. that Masha had taken, it was the only true connection Galina had to her past, her identity. "You are nobody," Galina spat, her voice low and trembling with suppressed rage. "Leave. Leave this farm, leave this family, leave my sight." Masha's lips curled into a mirthless smile. "Oh, Galina, always so quick to forget, aren't we?" Her gaze flickered, pointedly to the empty space where Steve Sr. should have been. "You speak of betrayal, but tell me, who was the mistress before the wife? Who broke a family to build her own kingdom?" The words struck Galina like a physical blow. The truth of them, undeniable and brutal, twisted the knife in her heart. Yes, her relationship with Steve Sr. had begun as an affair. She had known he was married to Christy, but she had convinced herself, rationalized, that their love was different, destined. She had never imagined that the very same storm she had weathered would one day engulf her. The irony was a bitter poison. With Steve Sr. gone, the full weight of Masha's betrayal, coupled with her own past, became an unbearable burden. "Don't you dare," Galina roared, her control snapping. The raw pain of Masha's words, coupled with the humiliation of her own history being thrown back in her face, ignited a fuse. Her eyes darted around, wild and unfocused, landing on the large red emergency shut-off lever for the main irrigation pump, prominently displayed on the wall. The pump was vital, currently channeling water to the thirsty cornfields, a week away from harvest. "You want to destroy me," Galina shrieked, her voice cracking. "You want to take everything." Before anyone could react, she lunged. It wasn't towards Masha, not directly. It was a desperate flailing movement fueled by pure, unadulterated agony and rage. Her hand slammed against the emergency lever, not just pulling it, but wrenching it with such force that the entire control panel ripped from the wall, wires sparking and snapping. A deafening clang echoed through the barn as the heavy lever, now detached, crashed to the concrete floor. The hum of the distant pump died abruptly, replaced by an ominous silence. The McBee brothers rushed forward, their faces aghast. "Galina, what have you done?" Stephen Jr. yelled, staring at the mangled panel, smoke beginning to curl from the exposed wires. The silence that followed was thick with dread. The irrigation system, the lifeblood of their most lucrative crop, was dead. Outside, the sun beat down relentlessly, baking the fields. The corn, already thirsty, would begin to wilt within hours. A week to harvest, and now, no water. Masha, initially stunned, now looked at Galina with a mixture of fear and something akin to pity. The violence wasn't directed at her body, but at the very foundation of Galina's world, and by extension, the McBees. The brothers surveyed the damage, their shoulders slumping. This wasn't just a spat, it was an act of self-destruction. The cost of repairs would be immense, the time to fix it even longer. The corn crop, their biggest earner this season, was as good as lost. Deals would fall through. Their reputation, already strained by Steve Sr.'s absence and the whispers of internal strife, would be irrevocably tarnished. Galina stood amidst the wreckage of her rage, breathing heavily, her chest heaving. The anger had drained, leaving behind a hollow ache, a horrifying realization of what she had done. The McBee Dynasty, a legacy built on sweat and perseverance, now teetered on the brink.